yeah. Spread love, it's the Brooklyn way. Damn right, I like the life I live. Cause I went from negative to positive, and so. And if you don't know, now you know, you know, you know. And if you don't know, now you know, you know, you know.
I think it's a representation of who we are at our core. It's Brooklyn all the way through and through, and it's the greatest rapper of all time, born and raised here in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and for us to be able to have him in the People's House at the center of downtown Brooklyn really is the right honor that he deserves.
I mean, look at this. Look how the kids are enjoying it, right? She loves it. It's all about Brooklyn. It's all about the kids. Inspiration. I was inspired to make this, and this will inspire other kids and adults either get into the arts or to manifest their greatest talent and potential, because Biggie did, and look where it got him.
Biggie always represented the Brooklyn dream. You're gonna start a poor black boy from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and turn into the founder of one of the greatest music genres ever to exist in history.
50th anniversary of hip hop. The president's team thought it would be a good idea to bring it here, and I was on board with it. A couple of conversations later, here we are, representing hip hop 50.
My name is Antonio Reynoso. I am the president of the greatest borough in the city of New York, which is Brooklyn, first and foremost. And today is a beautiful day. The sun is out because here in front of the Capitol building of Brooklyn, we're gonna make sure we unveil a sculpture of the greatest rapper in the history of hip hop, Biggie Smalls, the Notorious B.I.G, Christopher Wallace. And it's only fitting that he be put here and that sculpture be put here during the 50th anniversary of hip hop. We want to recognize and thank the Bronx for the work that they did in the founding of it, but there you go. But want to make sure that people know where the revolution and the work in its development happened right here in Brooklyn. And no fitting way, no better way to celebrate that than the unveiling of this sculpture. And we have someone else with us, a brother from Brooklyn, that is now a citywide position in the Public Advocates, that's gonna say a few words as well. But I just want to recognize that as young electeds or young people that grew up in Brooklyn, and the impact that hip hop had on all of us and its meaning for a lot of young people in expressing themselves and hearing their stories being told by lyricists like Biggie really made a difference in our lives and impacted us in extremely meaningful ways. And to be able to stand here as a borough president of Brooklyn and honor him through this sculpture and honor the 50th anniversary of hip hop is like a dream come true to us. And like Biggie always said, it was all a dream. And it really does feel like you need to pinch yourself sometimes as we stand here ready to do this work in front of again, the Capitol building of Brooklyn. So without further ado, let me introduce to you my brother, your public advocate, Jumaane Williams.
It's the Notorious. You just lay down slow. As they said, he was just spelling his name and he was flowing. Yeah. Biggie. When I see you, all right, but this is so dope, as the borough president was saying, and I think he's trying to make it clear, like hip hop was the sound and is the soundtrack of our lives. I mean, growing up, I remember when Ready There dropped, and they had the bootleg tape. I'm sorry, you got 2 for $5 back in the day, and you play it till it popped, and then you get another one, and just having an understanding what hip hop meant then, what it is now, globally. Who knew hip hop would make it this far? Yeah. And people were saying it was just a fad, and our parents were a little angry sometimes. They were listening. But to see the impact that hip hop had is amazing. To be celebrating 50 years, to be able to unveil a Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G. Bust and statue in front of Borough Hall. Who'd have thought that was going to be what it was when we were growing up, bopping our heads on the train, on the bus, listening to Ready to Die, listening to Biggie, listening to Notorious. That's amazing. And I'm hoping what it does is make sure when people walk by, they feel a sense of pride of what people did with nothing. 2 turntables and a microphone, some stolen electricity, nothing, and built a multi-billion-dollar industry. And that industry and that influence and the impact looks like them from the communities that they came from. That, to me, is what Christopher Wallace and Notorious B.I.G stood. Where he was in Bed-Stuy to what he became is a great evolution that I'm hoping our young people will gain some inspiration from, seeing themselves in these halls of power. So that's amazing. Definitely shout out to the Bronx that birthed hip hop, but I gotta tell you that Brooklyn raised it. So I just gotta say that. But I appreciate it. All in all, New York City is the birthplace, the foundation of hip hop, and what a great day this is gonna be. So thank you so much, Borough President, for allowing me some time. Peace and blessing, love and light to you all. Thank you.
All right. You're a public advocate. Thank you so much. And now, we couldn't do this without the partnerships to make this doesn't happen easy. It takes a lot of work to get this stuff done. And we had a lot of partners and people that helped us through it to just bring this over here. And we want to start off by thanking BRIC, who was a great partner in this work. Yes, please, a round of applause to BRIC. And Deron Johnston is the new Chief Programming Officer. He's new there, so give him a round of applause and congratulating him. My man got a new job. Got to be grateful for it, but want to give him a few moments to say a few words. Deron.
Appreciate you, man. Absolutely. I want to start. I got a few notes here. I hope y'all don't mind. I'll start with Pink Gators, my Detroit players, Tim's for my hooligans from Brooklyn. Had to do it for the culture. Thank you, Borough President Reynoso, Public Advocate. Appreciate the words. Again, my name is Deron Johnston. I'm the new Chief Programming Officer at BRIC. As the leading arts and media institution in Brooklyn, BRIC is delighted to partner for this celebration of one of Brooklyn's greatest artists. My first hip-hop albums were GZA's Liquid Swords, Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, and Biggie's Life After Death. I was way too young to be listening to any of those, but Life After Death was a significant acquisition in my early hip-hop collection. And why? Because who was it a gift from? My mother. You thought Doggy Style was a problem, but this was okay? Did you listen to the lyrics at all before you got me this? Needless to say, she was so hypnotized by Hypnotize. She was climbing through her own struggle and loved More Money, More Problems, that she swept all that to the side and gifted me that album. And that kind of framed the relationship that I had with my mother moving forward. Sometimes not always agreeing, but always coming back to the center with love and an appreciation for arts and culture. My mother was a Brooklynite, graduated from Pratt, all that good stuff. So that signified for us, all the young people that grew up trying to get their hands on hip hop and how it impacted the relationships that we had with our friends and our family. So I just wanted to share that with all of y'all, as I know you have those own moments for you where you connected with Biggie in his work and in your life. So thank you all again, Borough President, for your friendship and support. And it's an honor to celebrate Biggie's life and share this history with all of you today. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. I guess just for a little history, the first 3 albums I ever got was Capital Punishment by Big Pun, Hard Knock Life Volume 3 by Jay-Z, and The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. So I was introduced to hip-hop at the height of it. So if you guys know anything about any of those albums, classics across the board. Now, of course, we couldn't have brought this here if it wasn't created first. And the person that got inspired by Biggie and put this together, want to thank them for their great work. And you're going to see exactly what we're talking about when we unveil it. We want to bring up the artist of this amazing sculpture, Sherwin Banfield. Please come on up. Representing the shoe.
Thank you, Borough President. I must say I'm overwhelmed because it's a journey to get this thing made and to get this thing here. There's so many institutions, 5 to name exact, that was in partnership to get this here. I'm gonna name them all. Downtown Brooklyn.
Yeah, the partnership. Yeah.
All right. The Dumbo District.
Yeah, the Dumbo District.
New York City Parks.
There you go.
BRIC Media.
Yeah, BRIC.
And well, I'm an establishing. I'm on my way to becoming an institution, but the office of the Brooklyn Borough President. So I was exposed to Biggie my first year of Parsons School of Design. My next door neighbor, he invited me over. He said, "You got to hear this album. It just dropped. This is '94, and it was Ready to Die." And I thought, and he was Jamaican. He spoke with an accent. He's like, "Yeah, man, you have to come check this, yeah." So when I listened and I heard it, I was completely blown away. It was unlike anything I've ever heard before. It was cinema as music. You know, it was stories and storytelling. And listen, I'm not a tough guy, so I didn't relate completely to it, but I understood what the stories were, right? Never in my wildest dreams would I think years later, actually over 10 years later, I'll be creating this piece. And it is with the support and with the understanding of a vision from an actual drawing and a few words of a description. It takes folks that really understand that to bring this kind of thing to life. And that's why I want to thank the Downtown Brooklyn and Dumbo Art Fund, the folks behind that, to really make that happen, right? So I just want to give applause to those two institutions for making it happen. Just a quick thing about the piece. The piece, I knew I needed it to be in bronze, so the actual bust of Biggie, it was sculpted traditionally. I'm a traditional sculptor, and it was made from clay with my hands and created and casted in bronze. We have Betty Mackey, bronzing foundry here today, who helped bronze this thing. It was bronzed in Brooklyn, so I want to make that note. And I always wanted it to be hip hop. You know, hip hop is taking something that's already established, that was already created, and mixing it and creating something new. So this sculpture is that. This is a hip hop sculpture. It's taking the traditional sense of sculpting, the traditional sense of art making, and mixing it with something new. We have solar panels, we have a sound system, we have a lighting that has this interactive play, and I wanted to make sure that the community could be drawn to it. So the music pulls you in. Music is mixed by DJ Mister Cee, the DJ credited with finding Biggie. So this is a art piece, a statue dedicated to Brooklyn. Hopefully this adds to the legacy of Notorious B.I.G. And I just wanted to thank everyone involved for making this reality, because it really is a dream to be here. And one last thing, when you notice the sculpture's unveiled, the front panel is rusted. That's because it's intentional. I want the piece to be rusted in Brooklyn, made in Brooklyn, like how Biggie was made in Brooklyn. Peace.
Thank you so much, my brother. Yes, sir. All right. Now to the people that helped make this happen and put it all together and allowed us to bring it here. I want to thank the Downtown Brooklyn Partnership for their partnership in the work that they're doing. I want to bring up their president, Regina Myer.
Thank you, Borough President. I'm so glad to be here, president of the Downtown Brooklyn Partnership. And the reason why, just as a little bit of history about why this is so important. Before COVID, we received funding from the state, actually, to really work on the idea of using public art to connect neighborhoods. And then, of course, COVID happened, and everybody was sitting in front of their computers and thinking about what was next. But we had this money to think about public art and connectivity, and as soon as we met Sherwin, we knew that his vision to really bring the incredible celebration of Biggie's life into a sculpture was the right thing to do to connect us all. And nothing makes me feel that way than today, when we're all connected by celebrating through hip hop's 50th anniversary, thinking about this incredible contribution to our music right here in Brooklyn. There's one other thing I want to say about Sherwin Banfield. I've had the pleasure of really getting to work with him and meet him through the past couple of years, is that he really believes that the our musical culture should be a part of our everyday life here in Brooklyn. And that's one thing that I'm so proud that the Downtown Brooklyn Partnership brings to our neighborhood all year long. And for me, I want to continue that, and I would continue that with the Borough President, with BRIC, and all of our partners, making sure that our culture is a part of our neighborhood continually. Just a little bit, Sherwin asked me to mention this. My first hip-hop record was on Sugar Hill, which I know is the wrong borough, but I really want to really thank everybody for today, especially BRIC, the Borough President, our public advocate, for really celebrating and also being here in the central part of the borough to bring us all together. So thank you.
All right, all right. And now the Dumbo Improvement District, where the statue was originally located before it was moved here, and with their partnership, are always also helpful in bringing it here. I want to bring up Sayar, Lonial. Please come on up. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Hello, I will be brief because I think I'm batting cleanup here. But I want to say thank you so much to MCBP. I think it is amazing to know that a sculpture that has been housed in Dumbo can be moved to just in front of the People's House to celebrate the 50th anniversary of hip hop. The borough that tells the story better than I think any other borough can tell the story of our lives, as the public advocate has stated. You know, with the beats dropped by DJ Premier, a brother from Brooklyn, with the iconic voices of KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane. Biggie is another ambassador of what is a part of our culture and a part of who we are as a people, as a borough. I moved here 25 years ago. I learned about hip hop growing up in Louisville, Kentucky. My first song was I'm Bad by LL Cool J. So I'm telling you that this is super exciting for me to not only be here to unveil this, but to be here to celebrate part of the 50th anniversary of hip hop, which has been a part of my life as I turn 50 this year. So thank you so much for doing this, and thank you so much for making this.
All right. Now I just want to thank a couple of people. Of course, DJ Parlé, who's been with us this whole time. Want to thank him for the great work that he's done. Want to thank the Deputy Borough President, who's from Best-Town, went to school with Biggie, Kim Council. So she actually got to see him and hang out. And I want to thank my Chief of Staff, Asher Freeman, was the one that started this whole thing. And he said Biggie should be here. The sculpture should be here. And it was through his advocacy that we started this whole process about 3 months ago. So to Asher Freeman, thank you so much. Resident hip hop head. And now we want to invite up Victory Music and the dance company. No? Oh, no, we're not. That's going to come after. So now we're going to unveil the statues. So everybody get ready.
4, 3, 2, 1.
At the core of who we are in Brooklyn is all love. The foundation of who we are is love. And to have somebody like Biggie say spread love, it's the Brooklyn way, it speaks to our mantra and who we are. And no matter how hard you are or where you come from or where life is taking you, you can always come back to spreading love. It's the Brooklyn way as the foundation of who we are in our heart. So Biggie did it the best. It's our motto. It represents us. So I do the best I can to give him tribute every time I say it, but to make sure that everybody in Brooklyn knows that keep love at the center of everything you're doing.
Yeah. Spread love, it's the Brooklyn way. Damn right, I like the life I live. Cause I went from negative to positive, and it's all. And if you don't know, now you know.